So I want to start with a very simple idea. It's a proposition, really, that there is something wrong with the world. And if I had to guess, I would say that probably no one's going to give me a whole lot of pushback on this particular idea. I feel like this is fairly well accepted. Maybe there was a time a few years ago, maybe even a few centuries ago, where there were different people who said, no, the world is great and it's only getting better, but I don't know what it is. I just don't think that's really the space we're in right now. In fact, I'm pretty sure that as soon as I said there is something wrong with the world, there was like this collective, if I could have read your mind, this collective, no duh. There is something wrong with the world. This is not how the world is supposed to be. And you probably have your own list in your mind of all the things that are wrong with the world, all the ways that the world is not as it ought to be. There shouldn't be wars. There shouldn't be violence. There shouldn't be crime. There shouldn't be cancer. There shouldn't be car accidents. People shouldn't profit off the misery of other people. There shouldn't be drug and sex trafficking. There shouldn't be corruption and injustice. The list goes on, and yet there is something deeply wrong with our world. And really the question is, what is it? Like, what has gone wrong? Because I think that in one sense we could go around to pretty much anywhere and say there's something wrong with the world, and we would probably find a lot of agreement. Everyone would say, yeah, something's wrong with the world. The question is, would we all say the same thing about what's wrong with it? Right? Probably not. And so there's a place for us then to explore a little bit, to kind of dig a little deeper and say, okay, if this is not how the world is supposed to be, then what went wrong? How did we get up here? How did we wind up in this space? And how should it have been? In fact, I want to push this one step further and say, actually, it's not just that there is something wrong with our world, but actually there's something wrong with us. That if you look at everything that's truly wrong with the world, it's not just a matter of the world, as though it just sort of exists outside of people, but actually that common denominator often is you and me. It's people. There's something wrong with us. Something is not as it should be within us. And so what is that? How do we get to this place, this space where we find ourselves? What's happened? If you're here this morning and there's something in you that recognizes that this world is not as it should be, but maybe even more than that, you recognize there's something in you that knows that you are not who you should be. It's the same with all of us. That because of our sin, we have broken this connection with God, but God wants to recreate that connection. And he wants to give his life to you. Jesus gave his life for you so you could have his life within you, and you can choose today. You can choose right now to give your life to Jesus. Say, Jesus, I want your life. I want your spirit in me. I want to give you my life, and I want you to plant the garden in me, to know the power of your spirit changing me from the inside out. This is the invitation that he has for all of us.